uh, in a moment going live onto YouTube, so that's a new experience for us. We haven't done quite that before, but hopefully this is working. I'm just waiting a little bit to make sure that it's all confirmed that it's gone live, and it looks like it's happening. Something is happening. So just a new experience for us. We haven't done quite that before. It's on. Hopefully this is working. I'm just waiting a little bit to make sure that it's all confirmed that it's gone live, and it looks like it's happening. Something is happening. So just a new experience for us. We haven't done quite that before. It's okay. So I'm not sure if it's. I've had to. This is strange because it's playing straight back at me. So I am not sure now whether that will continue to do it or not. Okay, we'll see. We'll know by the end, right? So welcome everybody to our Thursday product NanoBalance call. It's a community call. We like to share product experience, and I like to first make a disclaimer that we are not here to diagnose or prescribe anything or suggest anything. It's curing anything. We coming from a perspective that when your body gets what it needs, that your body knows how to heal. You know, when you cut yourself, you don't need to do anything. Body knows what to do and it heals. Surprise, surprise. Magic, right? So there is certain direction or train of thoughts in the natural healing that says your body is capable to heal pretty much everything, providing you give your body what it needs. So that's where we're coming from. We are helping you receive the best possible nutrition that you can get. And when your body gets all the minerals, all the micro minerals and ultra trace minerals, the ones that we don't even know the names of. I did learn the periodic table, but I tell you what, most of those things I don't remember these days. And you know, those minerals are all essential. They're all necessary for different functions. That's why we found our body balance so amazing. Our body balance has produced amazing support for people. People have telling us incredible stories. It's simply because when you give your body what it needs, it takes care of itself. And I like to just address a little bit about on body balance, because I was thinking today, you know, in the natural healing, particularly people say when you get the flu, that's a detox. Your body is doing the detox. You know, recently we had this experience, well, not so recent, last year we were exposed to hicane poison, which is used only in New Zealand on the New Zealand kiwi fruit. Extreme toxic. We were exposed to it for about 2 seconds, just a whiff of air came past. And by the time we got home, Lisa started experiencing symptoms of a flu. And over the next few days, she had a flu. Every symptom of the flu. And all it was the body went into the serious detox of that hicane toxin. And so that's my interpretation of it. I own it. I'm not saying that that's the truth, but I believe so. So I believe that this is how body works. And a lot of times when people say, "Oh, you know, I caught the bug and I'm getting a flu," your body is actually detoxing. Now, some time ago, I've met a pharmacist called Dr. Pharmacist Ben. He is one of Longevity's top leaders, and he has several pharmacies, and he works as a holistic pharmacist. He has, inclusive pharmacies. He doesn't just recommend drugs for people, and yes, when people he supplies prescriptions, but he also offers people other option. And I remember him saying that your body will use a specific nutrient to detox. And it's called an I'm not 100% sure on this. It's either called alginate or alginine or something like that. And he mentioned at the time that seaweed is absolutely loaded with that. But your body also makes it. And it's using that to detox. You know, when people are concerned about various different toxins, your body knows how to deal with them, and it it eliminates them. We call, you know, in a common language, we call that snot, but it's really a substance which is similar to the ones produced by algae. That's why they call it alginate or alginine, which I'm not 100% sure on the name. And, you know, interestingly, Lisa and I have been on Body Balance for 26 plus years. And during that time, I only had flu once. And I've noticed that it's common amongst the Life Force team who are on Body Balance that people say, I just don't get the flu. And my theory is that, yes, because your body is detoxing on a daily basis. You know, 120 mil, 200 to 40 mil of this beautiful elixir of Body Balance. It helps your body detox on a daily basis. So you don't need traumatic experience of having a flu to properly detox. So that's my theory, folks. I'm not saying that this is true. I just observe that and putting it two and two together. So I had one flu, and that flu I had because during that time I stopped taking Body Balance for 3 months to test another product. And that other product did not had all kind of minerals and all the vitamins, but it didn't have this alginate or alginine substance that is in Body Balance. And so guess what? I got the flu because I wasn't detoxing on a daily basis. That's the only time in 26 years where I had a serious flu. Yeah, occasionally I get a little bit of a cold, but that doesn't last. It's not a flu. You know when I'm talking about the flu, when you get a joint pain and you feel cold and miserable, and then the next day you break out in sweat and you're gone for a few days in bed. So that's a little bit on Body Balance. Just one more reason why I like to take it and why I recommend you should take it too. So that's Life Force brand Body Balance. Now I want to move to our next product and just talk a little bit about it, and then we can share stories. Our newest product on the block, Life Force brand and brand new product called NanoBalance. Now, as you know, we have joined in a strategic alliance and partnership with another company called Youngevity, and we are now trading as Youngevity. However, our Life Force brand is still alive. Not just alive, but thriving. And that's why we have a new product. Now, this new product is, I think if you showed this product to somebody in, say, 2 centuries ago, they would thought, oh, that's a pure magic. And in some way, yes, we could call that because this product, it's called NanoBalance for a reason. And it's called Nano because there is one ingredient in there or 2 ingredients in there which have been reduced to the nano size. Now, what does nano size mean? Nano size mean it's, I think, I'm just trying to calculate in my brain. It's something like a millionth of the size of a particle, or possibly even smaller than that. Now, I know we have measurements called nanometer, and with those things you measure what size that is in terms of nanoparticles, which is very, very small. Now, nanoparticles are occurring in nature naturally is simply dust. A lot of times, some of the dust you can't even see. It's basically nanoparticles. And your body eliminates the unwanted nanoparticles without the problem using that very same substance I mentioned earlier that's in Body Balance. But the nanobalance that the nanoparticle that we have in our NanoBalance product, it's nanocurcumin, and of course our colloidal silver. Colloidal silver is also one small like atomic size. It's nano size. But the main ingredients where our name comes from really is the nanobalance is for nano-sized curcumin. Now, I've used and eaten turmeric, and must suppose if you've eaten Indian food, you would have eaten turmeric, which is the vegetable that produces curcumin. Curcumin is extract from turmeric. Now, I know that therapeutic amount, there's a lot of research on curcumin. And to eat curcumin in therapeutic amounts, you have to have about 800 milligrams a day. That's more than a whole bottle of our nanobalance. And that's the reason why the company decided to nanosize the particle, because what happens is when we take ordinary curcumin, most of it gets eliminated. It does not actually absorb very well. That you need to eat copious amount. But when you start eating copious amount, it's potentially toxic. So it's not something that you can do on your own, in your own as an own experiment on yourself. So you cannot just eat copious amount of turmeric. Not good for you. Now, but when it's in the nano size, we take what? We take 1 ml a day, a little bit more than that, two to three droppers a day, whatever you can squirt on a dropper. And that is minute amount. However, that minute amount is get absorbed, directly started absorbing already when you hold it under your tongue. It gets absorbed straight into the mucous membranes, and it's straight in the brain and transported where needed. And so your body has an innate intelligence that knows how to heal. And when it gets an ingredient like that, it will start using it. Now, what did they find that particularly curcumin is really good for? It's particularly good for helping people reduce the inflammation. Now, there's a whole bunch of natural herbs and foods that reduce inflammation, but there's also the whole bunch of foods that increase inflammation. Things like alcohol and things like sugars and highly refined carbohydrates and so on, or overdose on any food, including meat. So you can cause your own inflammation in your body. And inflammation is caused simply by free radicals, which is to do with the metabolizing oxygen. And, there's a number of different ways we have in our body inflammation. But yet inflammation is something that it's good for you when it's in appropriate moment, in appropriate time. So when I remember when I had first time that I slipped on my foot and I sprained my ankle, it became swollen. It got the inflammation immobilized it and prevented it from any further damage. So that's how inflammation is used in the body for good cause. It's not bad, but when it's over the top, when it's inflammation everywhere, and with our modern diet, high level stress, a lot of secreting adrenal gland, adrenaline, and other potent chemicals in the body, it can create chronic inflammation because our lifestyle, we're not meant to just sit for 8 hours a day. We're meant to be active. The body is moving. As the body is moving, its blood circulation is increased, and it heals with various different inflammations. But when we're not doing all that, and when we're spending a lot of time sitting and in stressful environment, like just sitting in front of the computer, that's stressful to the body, stressful on your eyes because it's a blue light, and then that's why we're wearing those kind of anti-blue light blockers. So every bit of our lifestyle adds a little bit of a stress and a little bit of extra inflammation in the body. So that's why I thought I'd go a little bit more into that. I know Krista has done a lot of good calls, and she's spent a lot of time talking about inflammation, and she is an expert. I am not. I'm just making it kind of a simple language. I like to use simplicity because that's how I process it. That's how I make myself understand. what it means. And I do know that taking nanobalance has helped a lot of people with inflammation. Now, inflammation could be in many different places in the body. Like for us, a lot of men end up with inflamed prostate, for example, prostate gland. It can be in joints. When we have arthritic pain, that's inflammation. It can be inflammation of the heart. There's many places where the inflammation is actually, um, seriously impacting various different parts of our body. So when you take something that can reduce inflammation and be as powerful as a nanocurcumin, and you only need smallest, minutest amount to produce the same result or better than if you take the whole 800 grams a day. Now that's 800, 800 milligrams a day. That's a huge amount. And if you take it as a normal curcumin. But nanobalance is akin to magic to me because it's such a small thing. It's a little bottle, hardly anything in it, really, and yet it's so potent. Now, we've had amazing results. Myself, my first, I didn't actually notice a lot because I don't have a lot of inflammation. I really take care of my body as much as I can to avoid inflammation. And, but, I have some issues like tinnitus, for example. That's, you know, the part of partially working with tools without headsets. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I didn't often care about my ears as I should have. So I didn't use a lot of times I didn't use the headset to to reduce the noise. And so I end up with quite a bit of a tinnitus. And I noticed after a couple of weeks, I remember Simon mentioned that, oh, the tinnitus is gone. And then the next thing I realized, oh my gosh, my tinnitus it's not my tinnitus. The tinnitus that I've been hearing reduced. And in particular, I had a very high pitch that was really annoying. That's reduced. And then I wanted to see, well, is it nanobalance or am I just imagining? Is it just a placebo? So I stopped. And after a couple of weeks, I noticed this high pitched sound was back. So I believe it was due to taking nanobalance. So guess what? I'm getting back on it, and I'm looking forward to completely reduce uh, completely reduce the tinnitus if possible. So that's just my little bit of a story, but I like to invite, I know Christine has had an amazing story. I know Trish has had an amazing story. So I'd like to invite you just to self-unmute and please share your stories.
Hi, Ivana, thanks for all that information. Yes, and as time goes by, I get more stories for myself. It's wonderful. I've been lucky. I've been up for 3 months now. So I was one of the first people to get it. And the first thing I noticed was the joints at the base of my thumb, which were really sore, gradually went down. And I was like you. I thought, is it this or is it something else? So I ran out of it at the end of the month. There was a gap before I got the second lot, and that pain came back. And we forget how bad the pain is till it comes back again. And then within a few days, it went away again. It's been away since. The other thing I noticed that my brain was sharper. I was able to remember things because there would be times when you're older, your filing cabinet's really full. I've got nearly 80 years full of experiences and places, and I've lived and traveled all around the world. It's a huge filing cabinet. And there'll be times I think, what? And now those things are coming back more quickly, which is wonderful. I remember jacaranda tree the other day when it was, what is that purple tree? Ah, yes, jacaranda. And the other thing that's happening is that also when you get older, sometimes in the morning you can have a bit of phlegm, that you have to clear before your day gets started. Well, that's gone way, way down. And then this last month, there was just a gap of about 5 days when I'd run out and before the next one came. And that was because I was being too generous. 2 droppers twice a day is the perfect. If you take 3, you'll run out. So that's a tip from my experience. And what happened was that phlegmy stuff came back. Not a lot, but just starting to creep back. And once I'm back on it again, it went. And the other was the pain. Started to come back again, gone away. So that's huge for me and for so many people. The other thing was the pain in the shoulder. Manfred told us that story the other day. And I remembered when I was lying on my shoulder to sleep, I'd wake up in the morning, the shoulder would be sore. Now it isn't. And those little things, they all add up to having a much better life. Thanks, Donna.
Amazing, eh? Okay, Trish.
Yes, well, continuing improvement with Semi and his dementia.
Yes,
Know,
Trish, for those people that haven't heard, can you give us a little bit background? I know Sammy is an amazing musician and also a high court judge, right?
District court judge.
Or district court judge, right? And you know, for him to come down with the dementia like he did, it was pretty tragic. And anyway, maybe you can give us a little bit of a bigger story.
Yeah, I was planning to do that for those who haven't heard before, but I put him on nanobalance. I put him in respite for the first time, and I put him on nanobalance. So I got his sister to give him just one serving of nanobalance once a day in the respite place, and every day they'd have the karaoke session. Now, I've not known him in more recent months. He's had dementia, started having dementia 10 years ago. We're right down to him barely being able to say anything. It would be yes and no, and otherwise he would just, he could sit in one sit on the couch all day. He wasn't particularly engaged in much at all. He's quite easygoing otherwise, and but there wasn't much happening, not much engagement. Well, first of all, the first news was at the rest home was that he was joining in with the karaoke sessions, which really surprised me. His sister would get up there. Everybody else is in the varying stages of serious decline. There's, up dancing and participating in and trying to mouth the words to the songs, the old 50s, 60s, 70s music, which he used to play and sing. And anyway, so that was, I thought it was just the rest home environment, but it wasn't until he got home when I realized that, and I decided, well, we'll have our karaoke sessions here too, do an hour a day. And that I realized that he was just way more engaged. He was getting out of the couch, off the couch, and when you tell him to, and I'd say, come on, let's have dinner. So he'd get out of the couch and come and sit down at the dining room table. And that's quite big, for literally having to haul him out of the couch. And it's just gone from there, really. He's just, okay, he wanders around the house and the ornaments seem to move. There's kind of weird things happening where the Sky remote ends up in a cup of tea, or tennis ball ends up in a glass of water. Or we decided to take him shopping yesterday for the first time. And, just even getting him into the car, getting him out of the car was really, it was quite an effort. Whereas now, come on, let's get out. He gets out of the car, we're going to the shops. And I said to my son, look, we better just get Dad some food. Otherwise, he's going to be into everything. And sure enough, that's exactly what he was trying to do, grab the fruit in the fruit section. We go around the corner and then he taps this woman on the shoulder. And I'm going, I'm terribly sorry. My husband has dementia. She thought it was hilarious. I mean, it doesn't necessarily, you don't know how people are going to respond. But then we went into the cheese and biscuits section and got him some bickies and cheese so he could eat that as we walked around the supermarket. But he's just way more, engaged, just really, really just more into life. That's all I can say. It's quite extraordinary, really. And, he's got vascular dementia as well as the dementia that has stemmed from diabetes. So, you know, he's had intestinal issues when he was younger. Is it the gut healing, the brain? I don't know, whatever it is, inflammation. I don't know. He's got a pretty clean diet, and but he's just, you know, on some level, I'm getting him back. It's kind of blowing me away, really. It's pretty. I'm feeling pretty hopeful actually right now. And of course, a year and a half ago, when he really slumped, you know, certainly the doctors said it was just a matter of time, and here we are a year and a half later. Yeah, just it's pretty exciting, I tell you.
Yeah, incredible.
He hasn't picked up a guitar yet, or hasn't gone back to playing the piano, but he certainly is way more engaged when he's watching television. He laughs along if there's a comedy. You know that he's actually obviously understanding stuff, or some stuff anyway, and laughs. And he wakes up yesterday and got out of bed and started dancing. I'm going, you kind of say to yourself, so much for life at the madhouse, but it's not that mad, crazy. You know, it's just different.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trish. Thanks for sharing. And we'll be looking forward to the updates. Okay, anyone else want to share a story before we go? We have a few minutes left.
Robert, do you want to share your story? No one's heard your story.
Well, I've been on NanoBalance for about 3 weeks. And before taking NanoBalance, old man's problem, getting up every hour to go to the toilet, or every 2 hours to go to the toilet. But I've been finding over a certain period of time, I've been only waking up once a night, which has been great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It makes such a huge difference to the rest of your day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, sleep's
wow.
important.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Steve, do you want to share?
Yep, I can relate to that, Robert. I was doing sometimes 4 or 5 times a night, and there's been nights lately that I've gone to bed at 11 and not got up until 6. So that's wonderful. And I'm actually a lot more relaxed, I feel. So yeah, it's a good thing. That's me.
Okay, we've got space for one more, then we need to stop.
Karen, do you want to share? Be lovely to hear your story. Just have to unmute your sound. Maybe not. Anybody else?
Hi, it's Jackie here. Oh, is there somebody else?
No, go for it, Jackie.
Yeah, so I just touched base with a customer that's finished his first month and basically just into the second bottle. And at the first bottle, I can't really say, you know, there was nothing in particular that he could pin down that was definitely from that. But as he got into the second bottle, only probably 2 weeks into it, he's noticing quite a bit of difference. He's saying that he's feeling more clear, more energetic, more just positive, all of that. It's just this whole different level of well-being. And he said that, well, I don't quite know how he thought this, but anyway, he said, I'm sure my testosterone levels have come up. So I don't quite know how he figured that one out, but lots of good things. And I'm really happy that he's noticing it. So onwards and upwards. I'm
Yes.
sure this will happen.
Literally.
No.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, well, thanks everybody. We'll complete the call. I really appreciate everybody's story, and we're looking, expectantly looking for more. We're doing this call every week, and so every Thursday night or late afternoon if you're in WA in Australia. And there's also a Tuesday call, Tuesday for Australia, New Zealand, Tuesday morning in Australia, lunchtime New Zealand, and otherwise Monday 2 p.m. No, 4 p.m. in US, or is it 5 p.m. Pacific time? I'm not 100% sure. So there are several calls gonna happening, and they're gonna be happening here in on this channel. Also, there's a quick reminder, everybody, we have a roadshow tour of Sean Brown visiting from the United States. He will be touring Christchurch on 28th, Auckland on 29th, and Gold Coast on the 1st, and then Melbourne on
Fifth.
which
Fifth.
date is the
The 5th, Saturday the 5th.
5th? And so if you know people there, welcome to send them to the events. Okay, thanks everybody. I'll stop recording and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Fauna. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Fana.
Good to see everybody.